a lot of people on Fiverr that I saw are making a lot of money designing NFTs for people.
Yeah.
So I saw, when I was doing some homework on this, I saw that you could spend $100 and get a NFT made of a character it can range from like a raccoon that has a bunch of goofy outfits, or it could be a lion, or it could be a bear. It could be literally anything. And then for $450, they'll give you like 10,000 of these characters of the same character. I think it was 10,000. Is it either 1,000 or 10,000?
Yeah, probably.
I'll fact check myself here in a second.
Probably.
But but they're saying that's then once you have that, then it's on you then to like hype up that NFT.
Correct.
So then you could sell that limited amount of them.
Yeah.
In the event that they're worth something.
Yeah.
After giving that NFT a social signal.
Yep, that's right. So think about it as in, there's and I'm gonna butcher this, but there's a fascinating example of where someone went on to eBay and bought a bunch. It was someone who was like a writer for a living, bought a bunch of items on eBay, and then got them delivered, of course, and then went back onto eBay, put them all back up for sale, but wrote stories and narratives about the items, and ended up getting like tens of multiples more money for each individual item because of the story that was told about each individual item of junk that they bought on eBay. Like maybe it was like a thimble, bought for like $1, and then wrote this like ridiculous story about this particular thimble in order to sell it for maybe $100 or whatever. And so if you think about what you're talking about, Tyler, which is the idea that basically you could go and have artwork created, have the artwork digitally then put onto a blockchain, so that it gave you digital property rights of it. Then you would go and sell it on a art platform like OpenSea or NFTB or something. You would then, the actual value of it is going to be the story that you tell and the amount of people that you get interested in the product and the amount of like influence that you have or the people interested in your artwork have.
Okay, so you're telling me the Fiverr will create 1,000 avatars.
I'll tell you what, I could do this.
And then I can like get them dope, get them hype, and then I can then sell them to someone else.
Yes.
And there's different types of these avatars too, because there's like pixelated ones, and then there's like not pixelated ones, because some of them are used in certain metaverses, right?
It depends. Okay, so then there's remember, so there's NFTs that are things that you own that you are going to go take into a metaverse world that you want to use to like social signal inside of a social community. So let me give you the perspective. So if you think about, there's the overlay on your profile picture on Facebook that says that you got vaccinated, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now imagine if that were an NFT. You could buy the vaccinated overlay that you put on your Facebook profile picture that you then use to really what it is. Think about it is when someone takes their profile picture and they put that vaccine logo over their profile picture, they're social signaling
that I got vaccinated.
They got vaccinated.
Right. Yeah.
So we were already doing
that's a
this.
value.
That is a value inside of a social peacocking society that we all do. Some people choose to believe that has currency, or because they're signaling that's part of their identity. Okay. And so now imagine that. So you understand then that if you could pay for that, let's say that you bought that overlay and that money went, right now it would have to go to Zuckerberg, right? Or it'd have to go to Facebook if you had to pay for it.
But it would go to the person that has it. The overlay.
In a metaverse, that's right. It would be whoever created it, whoever created this vaccine overlay would be the one who got paid initially for it. Now, if there was a fixed supply of those I'm vaccinated overlays, then they would go up in price because people who wanted the social signal that they were vaccinated would pay money to buy that on the open market. that's similar to like how NFTs work. So so
you know how I feel?
Yeah.
I feel like Katie Couric in the 90s.
Yeah, right? That is the best
when
video
she was
ever.
trying to explain the internet?
Yes.
That little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At?
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard it.
Around
I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
That little,
so good.
the little, that little. I think they pronounce that as at.
It is the best, dude.
I'll
So you've got the like social NFTs that I'm going to consider to be like the vaccine like overlay.
Okay.
There are some things that those are the NFTs that you would take into a metaverse. Because remember, the metaverse is going to be like a social network. It's a community of people engaging inside of one platform socially. Like there was a concert, for instance, a couple weeks ago in Decentraland that people could go to if they had their avatar inside of Decentraland.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so now what you're talking about, Tyler, is you go onto Fiverr and have art made that can sell, and that artwork is...
I'm sorry.
You can use art. No, that's okay. Someone else is going to do the same thing. So artwork serves as... you can use it you can use it to social signal a lot of different ways. No different than a Rolex, no different than a luxury vehicle. When someone has a Facebook profile picture of them standing in front of their Lamborghini wearing a Rolex, what they're really doing is social signaling.
Yes.
They're trying to flex their own what they think will cause them to be elevated in the hierarchy of life.
That's their
right?
value. That's how
right.
they perceive
that's how they're projecting their identity with the desire to be more with the goal of being more desirable and going up the social hierarchy. So art is basically a social flex. The same way that a Rolex is, the same way that a Lambo is, same way that anything else is that people will choose to attach their identity to. So you could use an NFT of a Bored Ape, for instance, as your profile picture. That would be you socially flexing that you have spent $60,000 on a piece of digital artwork.
Got it.
So that's the Fiverr version of what you're talking about, is the ability to create art that is effectively has value in social signaling.